So we have a statement here from NORAD, okay, about this balloon, whatever this thing is. We got a statement here, so let me just get that set up for you guys. Just getting used to a new streaming tool, so I'm still not 100% acquainted with it, so apologies. So this is the statement from NORAD about this balloon. In close coordination with the FAA, NORAD detected a small balloon at an altitude varying between 43,000 and 45,000 feet. The balloon was intercepted by NORAD fighter jets over Utah, who determined it was not maneuverable and did not present a threat to national security. NORAD will continue to track and monitor the balloon. The FAA also determined the balloon posed no hazard to flight safety. NORAD remains in close coordination with the FAA to ensure flight safety. So, looks like they're going to take the same approach as last year. They're just going to let this thing drift over the country and do God knows what, you know, without shooting it down or doing anything really. We have, want to just show you guys some video footage here. We have U.S. Doomsday planes active today, or we had them active earlier. This was sent to me by a source who lives right next to Offutt Air Base. This is a U.S. presidential Doomsday plane, and it was flying with its transponder off, okay, earlier. I have actually an even better video that's like really close. I'm going to try to open that one for you. But let me see here. So there's the Doomsday plane coming in. In case you guys have never seen a Doomsday plane before, that's it right there. Okay, this was sent to me by one of my subscribers. So that's what a presidential Doomsday plane looks like, guys. And it was flying around with no transponder today. Okay, no transponder. Roaming Prepper, thank you for the donation. F-15Cs over West Texas this week. Usually only National Guard trainers or transports been here forever. For 4 years, never saw loaded out fighters. Not normal. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. And I appreciate the support. And guys, check out the Roaming Prepper. He's a friend of mine, and he does a lot of good stuff with prepping, so check his channel out, the Roaming Prepper. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is. Great guy. So, someone said a BS alert. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but, you know, they're basically going to do nothing about it again. They're just going to let this thing drift across the country. So let me just get this video going here. So this was in the air earlier today, and it was flying with no transponder. This is a presidential Doomsday plane, okay? And it was flying with no transponder, guys, okay? And how do we know this? Well, my buddy who took this video, this is Offutt Air Base. This is Offutt Air Base. Stratcom is right there. Okay, those buildings, that's Stratcom. The guy who took this video, he checked the flight tracker to see if this thing was on the flight tracker, and it was not. This was in the afternoon. So we know that there was this Doomsday plane, and then there were 2 other Doomsday planes, I believe, 1 or 2 other ones today. So 2 or 3 presidential Doomsday planes flying around some with their transponders off. Okay, that is not normal at all. Okay, that's not a training exercise. And you know, I did an update earlier today. I did an emergency alert, and people were, you know, making nasty comments as usual. You know, saying that, oh, it's not an emergency. It's normal. You know, U.S. nuclear forces are always flying around. Well, it turns out I was right yet again. Okay, I am always right. I hate to say that. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but to all you people out there that always, you know, leave nasty comments about, oh, why is he always calling it an emergency? Why is he always calling it an emergency? Well, because something is about to happen, and I was right yet again. Okay, so don't question me, because I know what I'm doing. I've been covering breaking news for 6 years. Okay. I know what I'm doing. Okay, this is not my first rodeo, and when I see things going on, I try to alert people, and yet you still have these nasty people constantly criticizing me about, oh, why is that an emergency alert? Why is it an emergency alert? So, this is why, okay? Now we know why all these Doomsday planes were airborne today, and all the nuclear war command and control planes were airborne today. You know, because of the balloon, most likely. So, you know, and this was the Doomsday plane, I guess, when it was coming in. You can tell it's a Doomsday plane because it's got that blue stripe on the sides. You see that blue stripe? It might be hard to see, but there's like a blue stripe on the side, and it's white. Okay, it's pure white. So that's probably the same one. It was just coming in to land. So U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert. We had B-1 strategic bombers land in Norway, or Sweden last night, northern Sweden. So, you know, things are really escalating, guys. Things are really escalating. Let's see. There was also, somebody sent me a picture of a B-52. This was in Oklahoma, I believe. Yeah, this was outside of Tinker Air Force Base. There was a B-52 flying around, and I actually found this one on the flight tracker. Okay, but there was a B-52 flying right over Oklahoma City area. Okay, that's a nuclear bomber, guys. They are part of our nuclear triad. Okay, nuclear triad meaning land, sea, and air. So let me just show you guys what we got going on right now. So we had 3 nuclear war command and control planes airborne this evening. I don't know if they landed yet or if they turned their trackers off, but there were 3 of them in the air this evening. So we have some strato tankers now over Lake Superior. A lot of times the Doomsday planes like to fly up there. Let me show you guys the screenshots here from earlier in the evening. So there were 3 nuclear war command and control planes in the air in the evening. Okay, and one of them actually turned its transponder off somewhere over Illinois. It shut its transponder off. Okay, one of them was out in the Gulf of Mexico. One of them was out in the Pacific. Here's a closer look at the one that was in the Gulf, and then the one that turned its transponder off over Illinois. That's pretty unusual, guys. It's not that common for these planes to shut their transponders off unless it's a war situation. Okay, so now we know why all these nuclear war command and control planes were airborne today, because of the balloon. Okay, and here's the B-52 nuclear bomber. Took off from Tinker Air Force Base, went towards the Oklahoma Panhandle, turned around and came back. and then it I don't know if it landed or it turned its transponder off, but there was that B-52 airborne. Okay, so the latest information about this balloon. Let me read to you some of the latest info. Apparently the payload of this balloon is a 2-foot cube under a Mylar balloon. Okay, so they have a Mylar balloon and there's a 2-foot cube attached to it. NORAD and the government are saying, oh, it's nothing to worry about, no big deal, I beg to differ. But I think they sent that first balloon last year was like this time last year. So it's interesting timing. I don't know if they're trying to like troll us by doing it again the same time this year. So I have no idea, but it was right around this time last year that they did that. Random BS, thank you for the donation again. They should just pop the damn thing out of the sky. Yeah, I totally agree. But the jet stream is going to take it over the country, and the latest pictures that I saw had it going like over Georgia, kind of over like the southern U.S., the interior South, so kind of in the same direction as it did last year. We don't know what this thing is doing, guys. We don't know, what it's doing. Is it gathering information? Is it some kind of, dry run for something? Hopin Sin, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Random BS, thank you again. Greg, people have just gotten used to how bad things have truly gotten lately, and you are just the wrench in their illusion. Keep doing the good work. Thank you, Random. I appreciate that. I don't mean to, ruin people's evenings all the time with bad news, but, the situation is what it is, I'm just reporting the news, Christy Lee, thank you for the 20 memberships. I really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. Actually, you gave me 40 memberships. That's incredible. Thank you very much. So, what I was thinking about this balloon, and this is just my theory, so I could be wrong, but my theory is that what if this was a potential weapon that they're developing, and what they're basically doing is they want to develop some kind of balloon that they can attach a nuclear bomb onto and then try to drift it over the U.S. and evade our radars, because balloons, you can fly them really low, kind of like a cruise missile. And I mean, if you think about it, it would basically be like a cruise missile. They could just let these balloons go and I don't know. I'm not like a balloon expert or anything, but I'm sure there's a way they can regulate their altitude, and they can keep the balloons low and drift nuclear bombs over our airspace, and we wouldn't be able to detect it, So that's just one potential theory. I don't think it's too heavy because most nuclear warheads are a few hundred pounds. I mean, you have hot air balloons that can easily support the weight of multiple people. So, I don't know. It's just a theory, though, but we'll see. 2-foot square boxes, the payload. Yeah. What's going on, John Hoover? Yeah, it would have no heat signature. Yeah, if it's a Mylar balloon, the Mylar prevents thermal from being able to see the heat, because Mylar blocks infrared. For those of you guys who don't know, if you want to hide from thermal cameras, if somebody's observing you with thermal, you can take one of those cheap $2 space blankets and just wrap yourself in it, and the thermal will not be able to penetrate through the Mylar. Kind of like glass, same thing with glass, You can hide from thermal with even just a window pane can hide you from thermal because the infrared light bounces off of it. So it could be, this is just one theory though. Radio jammers, that's a good theory. Yeah, it could be radio jammers. So I don't know what they're going to do with this thing, but that's the latest information. They're saying that, oh, there's no threat. Don't worry about it. You know, just like they said there wasn't a cyber attack yesterday. Just like they said, oh, the space nukes from Russia are an anti-satellite weapon that are not actually nuclear weapons, but they're nuclear powered. You know, they're just doing everything possible to minimize and downplay all these different events that are popping up. And, you know, same thing with the Houthis. I want to update you on the Houthis later, but one of the ships that they hit a few days ago is now sinking, and it was a British tanker ship, and it left an 18-mile long oil slick in the Red Sea. Okay, and this was the same ship that Central Command and the U.S. government said a few days ago was posing had no major damage and was still seaworthy. And then all of a sudden, now they release pictures of this thing that's sinking, and it left behind this massive oil slick. So, I mean, it's just disgusting. It's despicable. Okay, they're constantly lying to us, and they're using the big media outlets to push those lies and insult everybody who thinks critically and call them a conspiracy theorist or, you know, fake news or something. You know, they're using the big media to brainwash people and push all these lies. Okay, they're straight up lying to us now. They're straight up lying. They're not even bending the truth anymore. They're just straight up lying. They're saying, oh, this is just a balloon, no problem at all. It's not a threat, you know. They just don't care, you know. They're so arrogant. They think they can just tell us anything they want, and we're just going to believe it, you know. We have to believe it or else, you know. So how's it going, Sally? How's it going, Sally? Let me show you guys this. Let me go through some of the headlines here. Israel warns the UN that if the UN doesn't enforce peace on the border with Lebanon, that Israel will take military action. Apparently, there was a letter sent by the Israeli foreign minister that revealed the dates of Iranian weapons transfers to Hezbollah, including advanced missiles and air defense systems. Israel is saying that the smuggling of Iranian weapons into Lebanon is intensifying. This was reported by Israeli News 12. Okay, so Iran is transferring weapons to Hezbollah, advanced missiles and air defenses, and they're warning the UN that if the UN doesn't take action, they're going to take action. So, you know, it's about to boil over there between Lebanon and Israel. We also have some breaking news coming in from Ukraine. Apparently the Ukrainians shot down another A-50 AWACS plane, a Russian AWACS plane worth $500 million was shot down. And also apparently 2 more Russian Sukhoi 34 fighter jets were shot down in Henichesk, which I believe that's in northern Crimea. Okay, so you know, right on the 2-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine, we are right on the 2-year anniversary of the Ukraine war. So we could see massive missile attacks tonight or tomorrow night or the next couple of days. We could see potentially some kind of surprise attacks. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And Ukrainian drones have attacked a metallurgical plant in Ukraine this evening in Lipetsk. Okay, Lipetsk is like south of Moscow, but it's pretty deep into Russia. Okay, so Ukraine attacked a metal plant, some kind of steel mill or something. I have some footage of that as well. I wanted to update you on the Swedish intelligence office that got attacked by gas. So we have some new information now. The Swedish government is trying to cover it up, and they're trying to say that, it was just a gas leak from the pipes, it wasn't anything, nefarious. Well, I have information here that says that it is nefarious, okay? Apparently, some sources that told one of the Swedish TV channels called TV4 Nyheterna. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but apparently this TV channel in Sweden, TV4 Nyheterna, said they got information from somebody that was there who worked in the building, saying that sensors on the roof of the Swedish intelligence building detected phosgene. Okay, phosgene. Okay, phosgene is a chemical weapon. Okay, it's a chlorine-based chemical weapon. It's a chlorine gas is what it is. Okay, why would there be random chlorine gas being released in the Swedish intelligence headquarters or whatever building it was? So, it's really suspicious, and we're hearing that the police in Sweden don't want to comment on that information. The police are not giving out any information at all to media, and so that's the latest with that. Okay, so phosgene was detected on the roof. Okay, so that is pretty weird. And again, that's coming from TV4 Nyheterna or Nyheterna. I don't know how to say it. Ben says, Greg, you're awesome. The best I ever deadlifted was 400 pounds. Yeah, deadlift was my best lift. When I was competing in powerlifting, deadlift was my best lift. I broke a American record and a New York State record in the deadlift. That was always my best. I wasn't super good at bench pressing or any kind of pressing. I was always okay with that, but squatting and deadlifting were always my best, especially deadlifting. Peggy McGuire, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you, Greg, for all you do to keep us in the loop. I appreciate you, all the mods in this wonderful room. My prayers are that you are truly prepared by knowing Jesus as your Savior. Love you, family, and MSM sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry to constantly complain about the mainstream media, but it's just the truth. They're constantly trying to minimize and downplay everything, as much as possible. They think people are just stupid, basically. They think that, people are just dumb and they can tell us anything and we're just going to believe it, Yeah, I could deadlift the stream. That's right. Yeah, nose breakers. Yeah, the nose breaker is a really good tricep exercise. I've been doing them for a while. One of my favorite tricep exercises. John Hoover says the thing about phosgene is it's used in industrial manufacturing of other chemicals, so it's commercially available. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That would make sense, because if there were some Russian sleeper cells in Sweden, they could easily get a hold of some of it and release it somehow, and So again, that's coming from TV4 Nyheterna or Nyheterna. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this was sent to me by a source of mine in Sweden. I have sources all over the place, so it's pretty legit. So basically, the police in Sweden are keeping a tight lip about it. The official story is that there was some kind of, gas leak or something. But that's all the information that I have right now. So wanted to just update you on that. Where's the balloon now? The balloon now is over Colorado is the latest that I heard. And it's just being carried by the jet stream. So, but lots of nuclear warplanes in the air today, lots of Doomsday planes. I think we had like 5 nuclear war command and control planes in the air today, which is a lot. Okay, that's a lot of nuclear warplanes. I'm going to get back to the balloon in a second. I just want to show you this picture of this British tanker that was hit by the Houthis. Okay, so now you see how much they lie and downplay everything with the Houthis. Now all of a sudden, after like 3 or 4 days, they finally release a picture of this thing leaking out all the. It's looks like an 18-mile oil slick. Okay, so when this incident happened, you can go back. You can go onto the Central Command Twitter account. When this incident happened, they were adamant. I mean, they were just like adamant that, yeah, nothing happened. The ship is seaworthy. There was minor damage. Everything is okay. You know, just like with every single time the Houthis hit these ships, they always say the same thing. You know, same thing over and over. Oh, there's just minor damage or no damage reported. How could there be minor damage if you're hitting a freaking ship with a missile directly? How can there only be minor damage from that? You know, these ships are not made to take missile hits. Okay, they're cargo ships and tanker ships. They're not built to withstand hits from missiles. Okay, it's like saying, oh, I T-boned someone on an intersection and that was just minor damage. I was able to drive the vehicle away with, you know, 2 wheels left on my car. You know, and I was driving on the rotors for a little while, but I was still driving, but there were sparks everywhere and the rotors were just digging right into the concrete, you know. I mean, it's like, so let me just read this to you, but this picture is telling right there. On February 18th, between 9:30 p.m. and 10:40 p.m., Iran-backed Houthi terrorists attacked the Rubimar, a UK-owned bulk carrier. Okay, so the British are not going to be happy about this. I'm sure they're not happy. I'm sure they're pissed off that the Biden administration is doing zero about this. The ship is anchored but slowly taking on water. The unprovoked and reckless attack by Iran-backed Houthi terrorists caused significant damage to the ship. Okay, so now they're saying it caused significant damage, but on February 18th, they said it was minor damage or no damage at all. So it's funny how that changed, right? It's because the pictures leaked out on the internet. I showed you guys a picture last night of this thing was just like half sinking, and they realized, oh crap, the internet is leaking out pictures. We better come out and tell the truth because then we're going to look like liars. So now all of a sudden they spill the beans, you know. It says here, which has caused an 18-mile oil slick. Okay. The Rubimar was transporting over 41,000 tons of fertilizer when it was attacked, which could spill into the Red Sea and worsen this this environmental disaster. Okay, so 41,000 tons on board, guys, and this fertilizer is going to spill into the ocean now. You know, that's going to kill all kinds of fish and mess things up. And what's the U.S. doing about it right now? Absolutely nothing. So it's just ridiculous. Let me see. I want to show you guys. See, I had a video here. 21 successful Houthi attacks in the Red Sea since November. Okay, there's a list there. Let me see. I had a video here from Ukraine. Wanted to show you guys. Maybe I'll get to that in a little bit. And then here we have this warhead of some kind that was discovered when those Navy SEALs intercepted that shipment of weapons from Iran to Yemen. They discovered this massive warhead on the ship. Okay, that doesn't look good to me. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look good at all. I don't know what kind of warhead that is, but it does not look good to me. That looks pretty large, and that's probably why they sent Navy SEALs to intercept it. Because it was probably some kind of high value weapon on there, and so they wanted the SEALs to deal with it. But that looks like even potentially a nuclear warhead. I mean, how do we know Iran wasn't smuggling small nuclear warheads to Yemen for them to use, against Israel or American bases? If a full-scale war were to break out, they could do that. It says God, G-H-A-D. I tried to look that up, but I couldn't find any solid information on what that specifically means. I don't know if anybody has any theories, but Ross says trying to process everything. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff going on. It's making my head spin. All this news all the time. It's tough. Tough keeping up with it all. But some kind of warhead here, and this is coming from the Associated Press. This was released by the U.S. Department of Justice. They took these pictures and released these pictures because here's some more pictures. You can see some weapons here. I don't know, what kind of weapons they are. It looks like some missile components. Looks like, rocket boosters and maybe some, I don't know, looks like cameras or something there. But this was all seized on the ship that the Navy SEALs lost their life trying to intercept. Okay, you don't send in Navy SEALs for intercepting RPGs. Okay, there was some serious hardware on that ship that the Navy SEALs lost their life trying to intercept. And thank God for them, because they found the goods, essentially. So, their sacrifice wasn't in vain. But I mean, this looks really crazy. You could use Google Lens to do a search of this picture and see what comes up. It says GHAD-55, and then there's like a serial number above it, D02021, and then I can't read the rest. There's definitely some kind of warhead, though. I don't know what this is. Could be a mine. Maybe it's a sea mine. I don't know. And then this is the actual ship that all these weapons were on, and they were heading towards Yemen. So, pretty crazy, guys. It's a crazy situation. Let me see. I wanted to just show you guys something else. So apparently the Russians lost another A-50, which is their AWACS plane. The Ukrainians shot it down somewhere near the Sea of Azov, and here's the approximate location of this A-50 when it was shot down by the Ukrainians. And, this thing was well into Russian, behind the front lines. This thing was on the opposite side of the Sea of Azov, right over Krasnodar. And they shot it down somewhere over, looks like just south of Rostov, in the northern Krasnodar region. Okay, this was provided by the Ukrainian military. So it was basically flying back and forth, doing surveillance. It looks like you see how it was flying, like northeast to southwest, back and forth, and there was like little loops at the end. It was doing a surveillance mission, probably gathering information on Ukrainian targets to, send to Russian bombers. And, the Ukrainians took it down. So let me see. I have some video footage I wanted to show you guys of this thing like burning on the ground. It looks crazy. If I can find it, I have to find it. Where is that? Well, here's another video. These were Russians filming this A-50 deploying flares to try to save itself. You can see the flares being deployed, but I'll play the video. They're saying it's firing flares. Holy F, the plane is firing off flares. Okay, so that A-50 is dropping flares in the sky. And that was the AWACS plane trying to basically protect itself from the Ukrainian missile, and it ends up getting shot down. So look at that. That's insane. A lot of flares. It's dropping a lot of flares, guys. Look at that. It's just insane. What's going on, God's soldiers? God's soldiers, watchmen. How's it going? Oh, and then it gets hit. Look. Look, they say it's hit, it's hit. So then it finally gets hit. And then it starts crashing down. Look, you see that? Wow, let's see that again. Drops more flares and then boom. You see that bright light? It effing hit. Where's it going to fall? And then you can see it breaking up into pieces there. Wow. So apparently this plane is worth $500 million. They shot down another one. So Ukraine is, taking the fight to Russia ahead of the 2-year anniversary. And apparently they shot down some fighter jets. This was an AWACS plane, and apparently they shot down fighter jets. So now you can see the plane coming down. You can see that fireball there. Wow. That is just insane, guys. Absolutely crazy. God Soldier says geologic hazard abatement districts is what came up. Interesting. Okay. I'm wondering if GHAD 55 is some kind of code word for some type of warhead. Wow, that's insane. The purpose of firing flares is to get a missile to lock onto the flares instead of the plane itself. That's the purpose of flares. That's the purpose of flares. So, if somebody's launching a missile at you, the missile is designed to lock onto your heat, and they drop the flares so the missile hits the flare instead of the plane. But, it looks like they didn't have enough. It looks like they didn't have enough flares, and they got shot down. So let me just show you guys another video here. Apparently this is Let me see. Apparently, this is the Sukhoi 34 fighter jets that were taken down by Ukraine. 2 Russian Sukhoi 34s. This was also this evening. You can see this big fireball there in someone's backyard. So, you know, Ukraine is not messing around. Look at that. That's insane. It's a big fireball there. So yeah, I discussed the balloon in the beginning of the stream. As of right now, there's no updates on the balloon. So we're just going to keep monitoring it, and if there's any updates, I'll let you guys know. We're just going through some other news here. Let me see. I had another video here I wanted to share. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, this is the steel mill. The steel mill that got hit in Russia today. Let me get that going. By the way, when I play these videos, can you guys hear any sound or no sound at all? I'm trying not to play the sound for various reasons, because sometimes you can get like copyright violations if there's some weird noise in the video and it detects it as something. It's, so I usually just mute the videos to protect my channel. But I'm just curious if you're hearing the sound or if it's muted. I want to know, because I'm using a new streaming tool. So okay, no sound. Okay, good, perfect. Okay, good. Is flight radar able to pick up balloons or jets following it? No. They cannot pick up a balloon unless the balloon is registered and has a transponder turned on. If this is a balloon that they sent to spy on us or for some other purpose, then obviously they're not going to register it. They're going to keep it secret. Wow, look at that, guys. That's that Sukhoi 34 that the Ukrainians took down. Look at that thing. Apparently 2 of them, and then they took down the A-50, which is a $500 million plane, apparently. So Ukraine is not messing around. Wow. That looks crazy. This guy's running towards the fire. Not sure why he would do that. So, pretty interesting. Yeah, that's a big fire. That's all the jet fuel burning and all the pieces of the plane. Wonder if it hit houses. Maybe it did. It's very possible. As far as I know, there's no second balloon. As far as I know, there's just one. There's just one balloon as far as I know. Roaming. As far as I know. This was that Doomsday plane earlier. Look at this thing. This was an Offutt Air Base flying around with its transponder off. Okay, at least the second Doomsday plane today. Plus we had like 5 nuclear war command and control planes. So, yeah, our nuclear forces are on high alert for sure. Look at that thing. That thing is a monster. It's hardened to withstand electromagnetic pulse. It has various types of active and passive countermeasures. This is basically an airborne command post. The U.S. president would command the entire U.S. military from this plane. So it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. They can communicate with our nuclear forces all over the world with this plane. You know, it's like Air Force One on steroids, essentially. Which Air Force One is like already on steroids, but this thing is like, you know, insane. Absolutely insane. So that was in the afternoon. So yeah, let's see if there's anything in the air right now. I don't see anything in the air on the flight tracker. So it's hard to say where this balloon is. I mean, we don't know if there's any fighter jets, you know, chasing after it or whatever. They probably would have their transponder turned off. So we wouldn't even know. We did have this aerial refueler here flying in Colorado. They said it was over Colorado, and we had this aerial refueler fly over southern Colorado, so maybe it's somewhere over here now. I don't know, but the jet stream winds are going to take it, you know, across the country. It's going to, the latest model I saw had it going basically the same direction as the last one, over like Georgia. So, you know, let me see here. Just going to do something here. I want to just share something with you guys. Hold on 1 minute here. I have some videos I want to share. Of that steel mill that got hit by a drone in Ukraine. It was the Lipetsk metallurgical plant that got hit. Let me see if I can share that with you guys. So this is that metallurgical plant in Russia that got hit by a Ukrainian drone. Okay, so the Ukrainians took down 2 Russian Sukhoi 34s, and they took down A-50 $500 million plane, and now they're hitting this steel mill. Okay, you can actually see the drone flying in the air. If you look like in the top of the screen, you know, maybe let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on. Let me see if I can just zoom in. How can I do that? I'm going to see if I can zoom it in for you guys. Just going to crop it. So if you look at the top, you can see something flying through the air, this little black object. You see it? It looks like they hit it with multiple drones. I mean, there's one kaboom right there. You see that big kaboom? But then there's something else flying through the air. You see that black thing right there? So it looks like multiple drones hitting this steel mill deep inside of Russia in Lipetsk. You know, that's good, I don't know, what, 200 miles from the Ukrainian border. So, you know, Ukraine is going to develop their drones even more. And, you know, they've already sent drones all the way to St. Petersburg. They hit that fuel depot in St. Petersburg a few weeks ago, which is, I don't know, what, 400 or 500 miles, maybe more, from Ukraine. So basically, Ukraine can target almost anywhere in European Russia with these drones now. You know, because drones can go really far. They're very lightweight. They're fuel efficient. You know, they don't burn a ton of fuel, so they can go very far. But there's one video, and then this video is even better. You can see this steel mill here. You can see those stacks. The flames coming out of these stacks are perfectly normal, actually. These flames are just how they burn off like byproducts from the process, you know, when they're making alloys and all that, you know, when they take out the byproducts and they just burn them off in these ovens, you know, and they have those stacks like that. So that's fine, but then you'll see right there, huge fireball. Wow. And I'd like to play the video, the sound, but I'm afraid, you know, with YouTube, but I mean, you can hear like this very loud kaboom. I mean, look right there. You can see that huge fireball. You see that? I mean, that's a fireball probably, man, you know, probably like 50 to 100 yards in diameter. That's a massive fireball. So they had to use some kind of huge drone to hit that. That is just insane. Look at that. Wow. So we'll have to wait and see what Russia's going to do. Russia's been piling up troops on the border of Ukraine in various areas. And, you know, they put Iskander missiles, as many as 48 Iskander missiles on the border of Ukraine. So they might just decide to launch all those missiles now. We'll have to wait and see. What's going on, Rodney Middleton? Good to see you. Texas and Ohio have apparently decided to declare a state of emergency for the 8th. Oh, you're talking about the solar eclipse? Is that what that is? Is it the solar eclipse? So let me just continue reading some of the news here. I want to just remind you guys what Jens Stoltenberg said today. The leader of NATO, he said Ukraine has the right to strike with F-16s against Russian military targets outside of Ukraine. He said different allies have slightly different policies on this, but according to international law, Ukraine has the right to self-defense, he said. Okay, so, you know, Jens Stoltenberg is saying that, you know, Ukraine is going to be allowed to use the long-range missiles to hit targets outside of Ukrainian territory with the F-16s, okay? So that could lead to some kind of an escalation. And Russia already said that if they get F-16s and NATO missiles, like the Taurus missiles, which Germany's already approved, they're going to be sending Taurus missiles to Ukraine. They said that was a red line. Apparently there was some kind of a mass casualty incident in eastern Pennsylvania in Lehigh. Apparently more than 52 people were hospitalized due to exposure to a chemical odor. Numerous employees reported nausea, vomiting, and headaches. Okay, this was in eastern PA. Very interesting, very concerning. I hope that they recover as quickly as possible. Let's see what else here. We have those 3 solar flares. So, you know, apparently there's not going to be any effects from the solar flares because They didn't produce a coronal mass ejection. So even though they were very strong, they're not going to really have any negative effects. We'll have to wait and see. You know, I'm not convinced of that just yet. So let me see, what else did I want to show you guys here? There's so much news. It's hard for me to keep track of everything. It's insane. There's some kind of weird bug outbreak. Weird, like, I don't know how to what you would call that, but it's like a bunch of bugs in Argentina. I don't know. They're saying these are mosquitoes, but they don't look like mosquitoes to me. But they're just massive amounts of them, and there were so many apparently that they had to shut down the trains because the bugs were. There were so many of them that the trains couldn't, you know, the operators couldn't see properly because they were like clouds of bugs. I don't know what kind of bugs those are. They don't look like mosquitoes to me. They look like some like beetles or ladybugs maybe. I don't know. They kind of look like ladybugs. You know, they could be ladybugs or maybe not. I don't know. But apparently there's just massive amounts of them. And, you know, it's causing problems in Argentina apparently. So it's pretty weird. Not sure what to make of that. Canadian fighter jets training with our guys. Someone told me that there was a subscriber told me that there were I think it was either B-52s or fighter jets that went to Canada earlier today, and they spotted them. I have to go back and check, but right. Matt Phillips says, if it wasn't a CME, what excuse will AT&T use next? Well, you know what they're saying now? They're saying now that that's funny. You know what they're saying now? They're saying that the balloon could have caused the cell phone outage the other day. So first they were saying, oh, it was the solar flares. Now the solar flares, you had the NOAA saying that there's no way that the solar flares caused that. And because there was no CME from the flares, even though the flares were strong. And now they're making up some other kind of excuse. They're saying, oh, it was the balloon. The balloon might have caused the cell phone outage. You know, it's just like I was saying in the beginning, you know, they're trying to do everything possible to minimize, you know, downplay. Just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, guys. We have another video here of this Russian AWACS plane that got hit. Let me play this for you. This is an even better video. It shows the actual missile flying through the air. Absolutely insane. You know, it's kind of biblical with all these bugs in Australia. It's like, you know, it's biblical. You know, the Bible talks about, you know, plagues and stuff. And pestilence and stuff like that. Pestilence is the word I was looking for. How would a spy balloon be causing that be any better than a cyber attack? Right, exactly, yeah. Right, yeah, it's like they want people to think that a cyber attack is impossible and that would never happen, you know? It's just crazy. Science 1941 says arming Ukraine with F-16s could trigger nuclear war. Medvedev giving Kiev new military capabilities poses the risk of unintended escalation. Yeah, it could. I mean, it could escalate. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that that's a possibility for sure. Let me play this new video for you guys coming out of this Russian AWACS plane that was taken down. So that looks like the AWACS plane dropping the flares again. You see the flares being dropped, and then you can see a missile coming out from the left, and you can see it flying through the air, and it ends up. Oh wait, what's that? Yeah, that looks like the missile right there. Is that the missile? I don't know. Yeah, that looks like the missile maybe. And then it hits the AWACS. Look. Or maybe not. It doesn't hit the AWACS, but looks like some kind of air defense missile here, or some kind of object flying through the air. Interesting. That looks like probably the Ukrainian missile that shot it down. I don't know. But that just came in right now, so thought I would share that with you guys. Let me see. What other stuff did I want to share with you? Oh, we have this article from CBS. Let's read what the mainstream media has to say about the balloon. It says, the U.S. is tracking a small high-altitude balloon that is drifting across the country but poses no threat to national security, U.S. officials and the military said Friday. CBS News first reported that the military was tracking the balloon as it traversed the western U.S. earlier in the day. NORAD, the military command responsible for air defense over the U.S. and Canada, later confirmed it had detected the object and it was floating between 43,000 and 45,000 feet. Let's see here. The balloon was intercepted by NORAD fighter jets over Utah. One U.S. official told CBS News the balloon was expected to be over Georgia by Friday night. So it's moving fast. I don't know if I believe that that's a balloon, because how could it get from the western U.S. this morning to Georgia by tonight? That's kind of fast for a balloon. I don't know, unless maybe it had like a little motor or fan or something. I don't know, but supposed to be over Georgia Friday night. And the balloon last year was on February the 4th, was the balloon last year, so it was also in February. So it's going to be over Georgia tonight. That's interesting. Very interesting. Oh, Tony, thank you so much for that generous donation. I hope you're having a great Friday. Wow. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Greg, you are an invaluable member of the betrayed human family. Your knowledge base, reporting, and perception of historical and current military practices and events are second to none. Cheers. Thank you, Tony. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a great Friday night. That is really nice of you to say, and thank you for that donation. That is really incredible. So generous of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, Tony is the man. Tony is the man. I wish I could give him like a gold star or something. Thank you very, very much. That's very nice of you to do. I know people work hard for their money, so you know, I work hard for my money just like everybody else, and I know, you know, giving someone a lot of money like that, it's you know, it just tells it just makes me feel a certain way, like, you know, it's unbelievable that somebody would be willing to do that for me, you know. It's incredible. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Dave says, Greg, I loved you going off-roading in the mud. Thank you, Dave. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing more mudding and off-roading content, so you'll definitely have a lot to watch in the coming months. I have another one coming out tomorrow, by the way. Another one tomorrow, going off-road. Wow, thank you, Tony. That was incredible. Yeah, I can't believe that this balloon would be going across the whole country in one day. Something is off about that. Unless they lied to us. Maybe it was over the U.S. the last 3 days and they didn't tell us until today. I don't know. I mean, how can we verify? Maybe that's why. Remember, like 3-4 days ago it was, I reported all the nuclear war command and control planes. I think it was Tuesday night. There were 7 nuclear war command and control planes on Tuesday. Maybe the balloon entered our airspace on Tuesday and they're just reporting it now. I mean, there's no way for us to, check if they're lying or not. How do we know, For all we know, it could have been in our airspace for a while and they just decided to tell us now, So, I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird that it would be able to cross the entire country in one day. I mean, we're talking about a balloon, okay? So, let me see what other news I have here. I was just updating the ticker. Beans and Bullets says our leader is a coward. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. At 100 miles an hour, it could travel 2,400 miles. 100 miles an hour, though. Think about how fast that is. 100 miles an hour for a balloon. It doesn't sound right. I mean, helicopters go like 100 miles an hour. I have a hard time believing that a balloon can go that fast. I don't know. The typing skills are fire. Thank you. Yeah, I've been typing many years. I attribute my typing skills to elementary school keyboarding class in the 90s with the Macintosh computers. That's how I learned it. Polish farmers have now blockaded the German border crossing. Peggy says, I go 100 miles an hour. That's funny. I'm a legend. That's funny. That's funny, Ross. That's hilarious. I miss Oregon Trail. Yeah, Oregon Trail. Man, that was classic. And they also had Amazon Trail. Yeah, those are classic ones. Yeah, all the video games and movies from the 90s were the best. It's the best time. Praying and Prepping says I miss the 70s. So let me just, I wanted to share some other stuff with you here. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to pull everything up. There's just so much going on here. I have so many tabs open. It's ridiculous. I have like 100 tabs open. Let's see. I'm checking the East Coast right now on the flight tracker, and I don't see any signs of any unusual activity over the east, in Georgia or anything. I'm not seeing anything unusual really. So they're probably flying with their transponders off, but I bet that's why all those nuclear warplanes were in the air, probably related to that, or maybe related to the Ukraine war. Who knows? Let me see, what other information do I have here? Let me just pull up some other footage. What other footage did I have here? Apparently there was a cold snap in Shanghai. There was some kind of cold snap. It's pretty crazy. Let me show you this video. It's crazy cold snap. Let's see here. Look at this. It was like a flash freeze in Shanghai. Look at that. This whole building is just frozen solid. Look at that. It's insane. Apparently they had like a record-breaking cold snap over there. So, you know, we're in El Nino now, but that El Nino is not going to last forever, and I'm afraid when we get out of this El Nino, it's going to get super cold. You know, the grand solar minimum and, you know, a La Nina together could cause a massive cold snap. That is just absolutely insane. Wow, that is just crazy. Joe, I ran away Biden. That's funny. That's a good one. I like that. Julie Pilkerton, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. A very generous donation. Thank you very, very much. And hope you're having a great Friday night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gene W., good to see you. Good to see you, Gene W. Aaron Bonats, I haven't seen you in a little while, Aaron. Hope you're doing well. Ross says supercharged hurricane season this summer. Yeah, it could be. It could be, yeah. Lorna's still here. I'm surprised. She usually falls off early. She doesn't like to stay up too late. It's good to see you that you're still in here. My new computer is going to explode from all my tabs. I was trying to set up like 14 cameras last night, but the cameras got too small to see. I was trying to put in like 12 to 14 cameras here on the screen, but it's just they got too small. You can't even see anything in them. Nixon was president when I was born. Interesting. What's going on, Country Christian? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Light Source says I'm hanging out working on my new PMAG designs. Yeah, guys, check out Light Source Engraving. He does laser engraving of anything, I think, but he specializes in magazines, PMags, you know, polymer mags. He can engrave different designs on them. John Hoover says Belarus threatens to shoot down NATO planes. Yes, they said that a few days ago. They said that they would shoot down any NATO plane that flies into Russia, into Belarusian territory. Yep, they said that. So you know, we're doing this big so-called exercise in Eastern Europe, right next to Belarus and Russia. I don't think it's an exercise. I think it's a forward deployment. You know, but that's why they're saying that, because they're scared. You know, they're scared of the exercise, the so-called exercise. So I'm gonna keep the stream going because it's the 2-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine, and so at any moment we could see some type of, you know, event take place. So I'm gonna keep the stream going for a while. I might even leave it up overnight potentially, but I'm gonna be streaming for a few hours probably because I have a bad feeling Russia's gonna try to do something. Hopefully nothing happens, you know. We'll have to wait and see. Mitchell says Lorna just tucked me in. That's funny. That's funny. Mud and Munitions says Belarus is going to be in trouble. Yeah, Belarus doesn't have much of a military. They're basically reliant on NATO. Not NATO, on Russia. You know, they need Russia to defend themselves. Without Russia, Belarus would get taken over in like 2 weeks by Poland or even Lithuania. Did I play the elk cam? Yeah, I got the elk cam working. I just don't know how to share it. I have the elk cam. I haven't seen any elk in it yet, but I'm sure they're going to walk by because I've seen a lot of tracks and scat. There's like 2 big elk trails right in front of it. I just got to figure out, you know, technologically how to share it on the stream so you guys can see it. But yeah, I got it to work and everything. I just got to figure out how to share it. That's a Russian AWACS plane. A Russian A-50 AWACS plane was taken down by Ukraine. They took it down. So $500 million plane taken down by the Ukrainians. It's pretty crazy. You just check some of the latest headlines, but I want to just share. Let's see, I had some other stuff here I wanted to share with you. Trying to find it. A lot of you guys were in my stream last night, and when I was covering the B-1s, but for those of you guys that weren't in the stream, there were a pair of B-1 strategic bombers that landed in northern Sweden last night. I'm just trying to find the screenshot I had of that. I had a screenshot. We have 5 nuclear war command and control planes in the air today. Oh yeah, here we go. Got it. Let's see. For those of you guys that weren't in the stream yesterday, here we have the flight path of the two B-1s that flew from the U.S. to Sweden last night. Okay. They landed somewhere in northern Sweden. These are B-1 Lancers. They're strategic bombers. They are nuclear capable, although officially they're not part of our nuclear mission anymore. They can still be fitted with nuclear weapons if needed. It's really not much of a change for them to get fitted with nuclear weapons. They have internal rotary launchers for the missiles. So because it's made to be more aerodynamic, it's a supersonic bomber. So this bomber, I mean, this thing is like a B-2 or a B-52. I mean, it can carry a massive amount of cargo, mostly weapons, obviously. It's super heavy, can carry a lot of weapons, but it can also travel faster than the speed of sound. So imagine a B-52 fighter jet, a B-52 nuclear bomber flying as fast as an F-16. That's what this B-1 is, you know. It's a supersonic bomber, okay? So they have an internal bomb bay for all of the missiles or bombs, and that internal bomb bay, it's not hard to just fit nuclear weapons into it. They have a special rotary launcher, so when they open the bomb bay, it releases the cruise missiles. It rotates, it releases one missile, and then it rotates, releases another one, rotates, releases another one. And those cruise missiles have either conventional warheads or nuclear warheads, but they're, as you can see, very close to Russia. You know, this is clearly a forward deployment by NATO. They're forward deploying these heavy bombers near, you know, some of Russia's most important bases here in the Kola Peninsula. That's where Russia has most of their nuclear-armed submarines in Murmansk. Okay, so it's pretty crazy, guys. It's pretty insane. You know, so NATO is on high alert. They're not messing around. Yeah, it could be an EMP. You're saying an EMP on the balloon. Someone said the balloon was shot down already. Is that true? Let me double check. I haven't heard anything. Vanessa says you're going to get something tattooed on your arm. What are you going to get tattooed? Good night, Deidre. Good to see you in here tonight. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for all your support, Deidre, and have a good night. Where's the Secretary of Defense? Yeah, that's the thing. I was thinking about that earlier is, you know, where's the Secretary of Defense? It's really bizarre how he's just nowhere to be found. You know, in this critical situation with this balloon, he's nowhere to be found. It's pretty concerning. I mean, we have a Secretary of Defense that has cancer. We have a president who, you know, doesn't remember his name sometimes. It just makes me wonder what would happen if there was a nuclear war, because the defense secretary and the president are the two people that are responsible for carrying out a nuclear retaliation. The president is the one that gives the order, and the defense secretary has to confirm it. So both of them are not in the best health right now. So it just makes me wonder sometimes. Light source says Secretary of Nonsense. That's funny. That's funny. As far as I know, he's not in the hospital anymore. He likes to play hide and seek. That's funny. Mud and munitions. In Pennsylvania, there's a stomach bug that causes violent diarrhea. Interesting. That's very interesting. I'll let you guys know, I guess, if I have diarrhea. Russia shot down their own plane. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what information comes out. I heard that the Ukrainians shot it down, but that wouldn't surprise me either. They've shot down a lot of their own planes before. Let me see here. I'm going to just check and see what the latest info is. Let me see. Maybe they did. Maybe they did shoot down their own. Yeah, this steel mill, the steel mill in Russia is on fire now. Apparently, Texas has declared a state of emergency for the solar eclipse. That's interesting. Wow. A state of emergency for the solar eclipse. Lucid Farms, how's it going? Learning to snare trap wild rabbits. Great skill. Yeah, that's definitely a great skill to have, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. Just, basic noose and a spring pole. That's definitely a good way to go. Or deadfall. So basic snares and traps. Figure 4 deadfall and a spring pole snare. Those are probably the two best ones, the most practical ones. When am I going to go 24 hours live? I did some live streaming last night. I was up for hours. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. last night. I streamed like 8 hours straight last night. Yeah, if things escalate, I'll definitely do that if I have to. Right now there's nothing going on, so I'm not going to stream all day long. I'm not going to sit in front of the computer for all day if there's nothing going on. I can just do video updates in that situation. Yeah, I was going to leave the streams up like 24 hours a day, like the cameras here and the news ticker and stuff. I still have to get that figured out and see if it's even worth it, because I don't know if a lot of people really tune into those. Seems like you guys prefer the short video updates rather than, stuff like that. So, I'll have to see how popular they are, and if they're popular, I'll do them. If not, then I'll just do the videos and the streams like this one. Unless the jet stream is moving 50 to 60 miles an hour. Yeah, can jet streams go that fast? I just can't see how, if it was in Colorado and Utah this morning, and they're saying by tonight, it's right now it's in Georgia, that's not even 24 hours, that's 12 hours. I just don't believe that it could travel in 12 hours from Colorado to Georgia. A balloon? I don't know. Maybe it could, I guess. But I remember last time it took several days for that balloon to get across the country. If I remember correctly, it was like 2 or 3 days for it to get to South Carolina, and then they finally took it down near South Carolina. I think it's possible that they lied to us, and maybe it entered our airspace, 3 days ago, when all those nuclear war command and control planes were in the air. Remember, I reported that there were 7 of them in the air. That was Tuesday. I did an emergency stream, and I reported that there were 7 E6s. Maybe that's when it entered our airspace. You know, who knows? I just can't believe in 12 hours it would get across that much distance, a freaking balloon, you know. Do we know the impact of the X 6.3 Earth-facing solar flare, Greg? As of right now, I haven't heard anything. So far. There hasn't been any coronal mass ejections coming from these flares. So because of that, they're saying that there's not going to be any major effects. But we'll have to wait and see. We're going to find out probably tomorrow, because the flares were yesterday, so it takes time for them to travel. You know, but apparently there hasn't been any CMEs associated by these flares. So because of that, they're saying that there won't be any impacts. So we'll see. Let me just check some of the latest headlines here. We have some new news coming in, so let me check and see some of the latest. We have some breaking news coming in from the U.S. Central Command. They're saying that today, between the hours of 12:30 and 7:15 p.m. Yemen time, the U.S. Central Command forces destroyed 7 Houthi anti-ship cruise missiles that were prepared to launch. Wow. 7 missiles, guys. They shot down 7 missiles this afternoon. And I think yesterday or earlier this morning, they shot down 7 more. I mean, it's just nonstop, you know, nonstop. They're escalating. There's just more and more of these, you know, missiles that the Houthis are preparing to launch. Just checking some of the latest breaking news to see if there's any updates on the balloon or anything else. Let me see here. China has launched a classified communications satellite with a powerful rocket. That's not good. Just checking to see if there's any other updates here. Polish foreign minister warns the U.S. of profound consequences if aid to Ukraine is not approved. That's breaking news coming in. Let's read that. That's interesting. Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski has warned the U.S. of profound consequences for U.S. allies around the world if Congress fails to approve U.S. aid to Ukraine. If the supplement doesn't go through and U.S. allies are disappointed and get the idea that the U.S. might not be able to deliver help, even if the commander-in-chief wants to help you, that would have profound consequences for America's global alliance. Some countries will start hedging their bets, and others will consider developing their own nuclear weapons programs. Wow. Well, there are rumors that Poland is going to be building their own nuclear weapons, and potentially Ukraine might do the same thing too. So very interesting. Let's see. Russian Defense Ministry says 2 Russian regions have been attacked by Ukrainian drones. Russia's Ministry of Defense has reported that 2 Ukrainian drones were shot down over Russia's Kursk and Tula oblasts on the nights of the 23rd and the 24th of February. On February 24th, around 0:15 Moscow time, an attempt by the Kyiv regime to carry out a terrorist attack using aircraft drones against targets in the Russian Federation was prevented. So they're saying that they shot down the drones with their air defense. That's what Russia's claiming. See what other headlines. Armenia has signed an arms contract with France. The European Commission has put the Ukrainian flag on its building in Brussels for the second anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion. So we're going to have to wait and see if there's any missiles, if anything happens tonight. If anything could happen, it could be tonight or tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. Apparently, South Korea is saying that North Korea plans to use cruise missiles to strike U.S. aircraft carriers and U.S. bases in Japan. That's interesting. Wow, there's a lot of news, different kinds of news coming in here. Oh, we have another video of the drone strike in Ukraine, or in Russia by Ukraine. Another video of it, but massive drone strike on the steel mill. Apparently, part of the wing has been found of that Russian AWACS plane. Let me get that up on the screen for you guys. Apparently, part of the wing has been found. So this is in Russia. This is the wing of that AWACS plane after it got shot down, supposedly by Ukraine. Now they're saying that Russian air defense took it down. They shot down their own plane by accident, which is possible, I guess. They've done it before, but I can't see how you would shoot something like that down. It's so big and slow. You know? That's crazy. Look at that giant wing there. Looks insane. So pretty interesting. Let's see what other information is coming out here. We're going to have to wait and see if Putin is going to annex Transnistria next week. That would be a big move. Justin Wenzel, thank you for gifting 20 memberships. I appreciate it, Justin. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a good Friday. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Tell the boy says blue on blue. That's what it looks like. It looks like blue on blue. It's possible. It's very possible. What's going on, Oregon Preparedness? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Just trying to see if there's going to be any big missile attack on Ukraine tonight. It's the 2-year anniversary from when the war started, so we're just seeing if anything is going to happen tonight. Let's just check and see the flight tracker, and let's see if there's any planes over the U.S. now. Let me see here. Let's check and see if there's anything unusual going on. Nothing too unusual right now. They're probably flying with transponders off, though. Yeah, no updates on the balloon. We have a ton of helicopters here. Look at this. We have a ton of Blackhawks in southern Alabama. I don't know if that's related to the balloon or not. Look how many Blackhawks there are here. We got like a dozen Blackhawks in southeastern Alabama. I don't know if that's related to the balloon. Look at this. There's so many of them here. And they're flying all over the place near Enterprise, Alabama. Maybe that's related to the balloon. Maybe they're searching for it somewhere. I don't know. It's pretty weird. Or it could just be a big exercise. I don't know. I don't know if there's any bases over there, though, if it was an exercise. I don't see any National Guard bases anywhere. That's pretty weird. It could be because of the balloon. But yeah, that story, the official story about the balloon, or oh, it just arrived, you know, this morning and now it's going to be over Georgia, that's a lie. There's no way it can get across the country in 12 hours. I mean, that's just insane. Jet stream at the top of the atmosphere is 150 knots, pushing that balloon along fast. Well, they said it was at 40,000 feet, so that's actually not that high. I mean, 40,000 feet is not like super high for a plane. I mean, planes go even higher than that sometimes, but I guess maybe it's possible. Yeah, maybe I don't know. It's possible that you know, either way it's just not good that, you know, they're sending these balloons to our country and we're not shooting them down or anything. We're just letting it go. Jet stream is currently at 200 miles an hour. Tin plant in West Virginia is closing. 900 jobs lost due to Allegheny wood closing. Wow. Good night, Vanessa. Thanks for moderating. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Rebels Edge says Black Hawk helicopters in Alabama. The rednecks be going crazy if they knew it. That's funny. We didn't shoot the balloon down yet. It's still in the air. It's still in the air, the balloon. It's supposed to be over Georgia right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Look at that. The sun is already coming up in Novorossiysk. It's already light over there. Check that out. Let me see here. Let's check some other headlines. But that's all the breaking news that I have for now. If you want to catch up on the breaking news, you have to basically go back and watch the beginning, the first hour or so. There's an E6 off the west coast still. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably still there. Sure, it's probably still there. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's the one that was airborne earlier. Bula 34. Yeah, it's still airborne. Yeah. Yep, it's still in the air. Yeah, we still have that E6 over the west coast. That's true. Other than that, I don't see anything. They're probably flying with transponders off, I'm sure. Hold on 1 second, guys. Be right back. 1 second. Sorry about that. Just gonna set up another flight tracker here on the screen. So we're just watching and waiting to see what happens in Ukraine tonight. If there's going to be any big missile attack or anything, that's what we're doing right now. And then just checking on the balloon situation. So it appears to be quiet at the moment. Thank God. There's not much going on in Ukraine at the moment, other than they shot down that, the AWACS plane. the Russian AWACS plane. They shot it down. So other than that, it's quiet. I'm going to just check some things here. I'll put some stuff on the screen in a sec. I'll share some stuff with you, some more news that's coming in right now. Just want to set another flight tracker up over here for you guys to look at. Let's see here. Let's see what other stuff is going on. Let's see what's going on in Asia with the flights in Asia. Got some C2 Greyhounds taking off from Manila, which is a plane used to replenish the aircraft carriers, taking off from the Philippines right now. We have another U.S. Army reconnaissance plane here in South Korea. Let me check the chat and see what you guys are saying. War is not the answer. Yeah, war is definitely not the answer. Absolutely not. You know, sometimes you have no choice, but you know, sometimes you have no choice. Two P-8 Poseidons, one next to Ukraine, one in Japan. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't take it down. It's really weird. Good night, Mud and Munitions. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. And I'll catch up with you later. Mud and Munitions says this setup is really cool. I'm glad you like the setup. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be doing more different types of stuff like this. Joe Manderson says, New Zealand here. Thank you, Greg. Wouldn't miss your videos. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Freddie Johnson says, love this channel. Thank you, Freddie. I appreciate it. Matt says, I love the split screen too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you like it. Let's just see here. I'm just going to check if there's any new news. Because something could be coming in right now. So let me just see if there's anything coming in. See here. Yeah, we have a sub hunter off the coast of Romania. Putin is going to be giving a speech on the 29th, the Defender of the Fatherland speech. I think that's the one on the 29th. Or no, maybe not. That's a different speech. I don't know. Defenders of the Fatherland. He gives so many speeches, it's hard to keep track. Russian media claims Putin flew aboard Tu-160 Blackjack. The flight with Putin on board took place in Tatarstan. Russian media released a video of the aircraft's takeoff and flight. The flight lasted 30 minutes before landing on the strip of the Kazan Aircraft Production Association. Interesting. Trying to see if there's any other news coming in. So far it's quiet though in Ukraine, which is a good sign. That's a good sign. Thank you, Isaac, for the donation. I appreciate it. You love my setup. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Took a lot of time and effort to get it set up this way. Salty Biscuit says, check the whiter paper balloon map. There's dates. Okay, thank you, Salty Biscuit. I appreciate it. Brayan44 says, hi, Greg. The Lord is coming. Peggy says, love late Friday nights and coffee. Yeah, that's always fun. Putler trying to make the USSR again. That's what he's trying to do. Barbara16 says, hi, Greg. Greetings from Bavaria. Bavaria is really nice. I've been to Neuschwanstein, the castle. I went there one time. It's a nice area. I don't know if that's in Bavaria or not. But I remember I went to Neuschwanstein. Nice cam of Kaliningrad. Yeah, one of my friends sent those cameras to me, so thanks to him. Yeah, it's a cool camera, the Kaliningrad one. There's a lot of different cameras out there. I'm going to spend some time, when I have free time, I'm going to try to find different types of cameras that we can watch. it's just hard to find them because a lot of them are copyrighted, or they time out, so it's tough to find a good one that doesn't time itself out, and you have to constantly reload it. So officially right now it's quiet over the US. We're not seeing any plane activity right now, which is interesting. Yeah, Putin wants to rebuild the USSR. He wants to make Russia into the USSR again. There's no doubt about it. He even said so himself. He wants to rebuild the USSR, and I think he's probably going to do it. I think he's probably going to do it because no one's going to stop him. No one's going to stop him, so it doesn't look like there's any hope. Finland has a lot of cameras. Yeah, I was looking at Finland. I'll try to find something from Finland. I'll try to see if I can get one from Finland also. I don't know if these cameras are a little too big or not, or too small. I was going to try to fit more cameras on the screen, but I don't know if I do that. They're going to be too small and you're not going to be able to see them. Is this a good size? Or should I try to fit like some more cameras, like maybe 3 more? I can make them smaller and squeeze them in. I can try to do that. What do the colors stand for on the radiation map? The green colors are showing low radiation, normal radiation. On the Ukraine radiation map, the light blue colors are showing normal. If there's any like purple or anything, then that means it's higher radiation. So what I'll do is I'll just show you guys. I'll zoom in. So like on the Ukraine one, for instance, you can see up here where Chernobyl is. That shows high radiation there. Okay, you see all the purples everywhere? That's Chernobyl. Okay, very high radiation levels at the Chernobyl plant. Okay, these are nanosieverts per hour, so keep that in mind. If you see like any purple colors up there, that means it's a spike in radiation, but everything for the most part is light blue or like a light green, which means that it's normal, it's low. So that's good. That's what we want to see basically. And then we have the world map for the radiation, and the green dots represent normal background radiation. If you see any reds usually mean there's an elevated level. But if it's just a red dot by itself, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's could just be something wrong with that monitoring station that is throwing a bad reading. So you got to look at multiple dots. If you see like multiple dots that are elevated, then that it's it's something's going on there. So hopefully that helps you out. I don't know if I'm always going to have this set up every time I stream, but I'm going to try to have this set up most of the time. Iran denies supplying ballistic missiles to Russia. Iran's permanent mission to the UN has denied media reports that it has supplied Russia with ballistic missiles that could be used to wage a full-scale war against Ukraine. Although there are no prevailing international restrictions or prohibitions on the sale of ballistic missiles, Iran deems itself morally obligated to abstain from weapon transactions for the duration of the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So the Iranian permanent mission to the UN has denied media reports that it has supplied missiles to Russia. So we have an update on that Russian AWACS plane. It looks like the Ukrainian military shot it down with an S-200, a Soviet anti-aircraft system. They shot it down with an S-200. Interesting. So the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence is saying that they shot down this Russian AWACS plane, and Russia only has a few of them, and they're worth a lot of money. So that's a huge loss for the Russians. How's it going, Kat Swee? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Another balloon. Gary and our fearless leader says, let it fly. That's funny. That's funny. That's pretty hilarious. The Russians attacked Odessa with attack drones on the evening of February 23rd, causing a residential building to catch fire. One person is known to have been killed. Wow, so Russia used drones on Odessa, killed one person. For the second night in a row, the enemy is attacking Odessa Oblast with attack drones. As a result of the enemy attack, a residential building in Odessa was damaged and then caught fire. 2 people have been reported injured so far. They were taken to a hospital in serious condition. Wow. Interesting. Check some other sources here. I just have a really bad feeling we're going to see some kind of big strike on Ukraine tonight. Some big strike. Why don't you guys understand they cannot shoot it down over land? Logistics, they need to capture it, not destroy it. Interesting. Maybe the balloon is delivering cash and pudding cups for Joe. Peggy says, I think Russia's going to do it any minute now with their AWACS plane got shot down. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, now that they shot down that AWACS plane and then the fighter jets were also supposedly shot down. So yeah, it's very possible that Russia could decide to retaliate now. Yeah, that's a really good point. Viper Optics says Russia and Ukraine love doing stuff on special days. Yes, they do. That's very true, they do. Redneck Yankee, I just tuned in. What did I miss? You could go back to the beginning if you wanna catch up on the latest news. You can go back to the beginning. Just scroll back to the beginning, or you can read the news ticker at the top. That has all the major headlines. Roaming Prepper, good to see you again. Good to see you. Hope everything's going well. Yeah, as far as the balloon goes, they're saying that the balloon is supposedly over Georgia now. So maybe they're just going to let it go out to sea and they're not going to actually try to shoot it down. Who knows, you know? It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if they just decided to not do anything about it at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Let me see here. Anything with China antagonizing the Philippines? Yeah, let me check about that. Apparently, Poland is saying that they are far from reaching a deal on agricultural imports with Ukraine. Jan Grabiec, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk's chief of staff, has said that Poland and Ukraine are far from reaching an agreement on imports of Ukrainian agricultural products blocked at the border by Polish protesting farmers. According to Tusk's representative, the state of negotiations with Ukraine does not allow us to say that we have a satisfactory solution for Poland or Polish farmers. We are far from such an agreement. Unfortunately, there is no Ukrainian offer that would allow us to hope for a way out of the deadlock in the trade relations. Wow, that's interesting. So the Polish government is, I guess they want a deal on these, They want a deal because their farmers are being put out of business by the Ukrainian farmers. Poland is taking a beating from the cheaper Ukrainian grain, which I think it's understandable. I mean, obviously, I have Polish heritage, so for me, I'm a little biased, but I think there should be some kind of way that they can figure it out. There should be a way. I'm sure they can figure something out. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate the anonymous donation. Thank you so much. The balloon is currently over Georgia right now. They said it was going to be over Georgia. Anything on the Gaza offensive? Yeah, I can check up on Gaza. The latest that I heard was that Israel was telling the UN that if the UN doesn't deal with Hezbollah, then Israel's going to go in and deal with Hezbollah on their own. That's the latest that I heard. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But it's looking like it's going to just keep escalating. It looks like they're going to go into Rafah any day now. The official day was Ramadan. They gave a deadline of Ramadan for Hamas to release the hostages. And they said if they didn't release the hostages by Ramadan, then they would go in and go into Rafah. So that's the latest situation there. Let me just see some other stuff here. Maybe the balloon is a test run for an EMP. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they could put an EMP on a balloon and send it. That's very possible. Another thing that they could do, and I kind of mentioned this, is that could be a way for them to deliver nukes. You know, they can use that to deliver nukes. They can float these balloons with warheads on them, and they can evade our early warning radars, you know, and, you know, that would be pretty bad. You know, they could sneak into our airspace essentially with these balloons. So, you know, that would be pretty bad. Yeah, let me check some other news here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me check some different sources here. But we're mostly watching and waiting to see what's going to happen with Ukraine, with this missile, or with this 2-year anniversary. See if anything's going to happen tonight over there. And we're keeping an eye on the balloon. Yeah, and Dmitry Medvedev, the former Russian president, said that that they're going to try to go after the capital of Ukraine and also Odessa. That, you know, Odessa and the capital of Ukraine should be a part of Russian territory. Yesterday, the leader of the U.S. Senate, Charles Schumer, brought a bipartisan Senate delegation to Ukraine to meet with Zelensky. They came on the eve of the 2-year anniversary. So Schumer came with a bipartisan group of senators to Ukraine yesterday. That's interesting. I guess for that package they wanna vote on. Trump is going to be giving a speech at CPAC tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. And then we have the South Carolina primary. I think, when is that? Let me see. South Carolina primary. South Carolina. There was a new poll that came out showing Trump losing to Biden. Let's see. When is that primary? February 24th. Wow. Tomorrow's the big day. Trump versus Nikki Haley. We'll see who's going to take South Carolina. That's going to be big. Wow. It's going to be an interesting day. California primary is March 5th. Kingdom Daughter says, went to Trump rally and it was lit. He'll win, hands down. Tony says, hey all from South Carolina. The balloon is over Georgia now. Um, the Offutt Air Base had some kind of cyber attack. Offutt Air Base, they had issues with some of their, um, I think it was their medical stuff at the air base. They put out a notice. Let me see if I can find that for you. Yeah, there's no information on their Facebook account at Offutt Air Base. They posted something about the pharmacy there not working, which is interesting. The president of Poland said that he did not believe that Russia would not attack any country. He's basically referring to what Putin said when Tucker Carlson asked if Russia would attack Poland, and the Polish president said he doesn't believe what Putin said. So that's pretty interesting. This is cool. Somebody made this video for me. Let me see if I can share that. That's cool. I don't know if I can share it. Somebody made this cool video for me. Never mind. I'm having difficulty sharing it. We have some more reconnaissance activity over South Korea tonight. More reconnaissance activity. Let's see what's going on in South Korea here. We have some more planes flying here. Look, got some South Korean Coast Guard, South Korean police, some U.S. Army Beechcraft. Oh, this is the one that I wanted to show you. Look, you see this one here? This is a plane with no flight information at all, and it's flying along the border of North Korea, so that's definitely some kind of surveillance plane, no doubt. Check that out. No flight information on it at all. I wish I could play some music for you guys, but it's hard to find any copyright-free music. Everything's copyrighted now. Wonder if there's any update on the Swedish gas attack. That was crazy. I'm going to check in a little bit if there's any updates on that. Hey Greg, I watched another channel earlier that said that there was some people passed away yesterday during the cell phone outage because they couldn't call 911. Have I heard anything? No, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything about people dying, but it's possible for sure. Light Source says we are still having issues billing certain insurance plans at the pharmacy today, so issues still remain from yesterday. Yeah, somebody told me that they haven't been able to get their medicine for several days now, and it's going to be a couple more days before they get any of their medicine. So that's pretty concerning. Um, that's pretty concerning. They attacked the pharmacy processor, Change. It's like Change Insurance or some Change Healthcare or something like that. They deal with pharmacies and clearing transactions, pharmacy transactions. What is going on in PA? Yeah, let me research that. I haven't had a chance to research it yet because there were so many other things going on. We can look into that. We can definitely look into it. Oh, I have some nice maps here that I found. This is interesting. Some wargaming maps of the Baltics being attacked by a Polish analyst. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm hearing that that facility in eastern Pennsylvania, it was in eastern PA. I'm hearing that it was some kind of lab or something. Some kind of lab in there. Wow. The Prime Minister of Ukraine is now threatening Poland. Denis Shmyhal is saying the issue of unblocking the border with Poland should be resolved by March 28th. Otherwise, Ukraine may take retaliatory measures at border crossings. Wow. That's not good. I hope they work it out. I hope they can work it out somehow. JB, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Roaming Prepper says 1,900 out of 2,000 likes in the live. Good percentage. Oh, thank you, Roaming Prepper. I didn't even notice that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just very blessed to have so many people that trust me with their information and support me. There's so many nice people here. I'm really fortunate. It's really cool. It's a cool feeling to know that there's people out there that are willing to spend their night listening to you rant about random stuff that most people don't even care about. Thank you, JB, for that donation again. I appreciate it. Am I getting banned? So far, I had a last year was a very rough year for me with YouTube. They gave me 2 strikes, and I almost had my channel shut down because I was on 2 strikes last summer. It was like August, I think, or July. I can't remember. But I was on a second strike, so I was on thin ice. And then all of a sudden, when my strikes disappeared, my channel just doubled, in like 1 month. And now YouTube loves me. I haven't gotten any strikes or any. They don't even demonetize my videos. I used to get a lot of my videos would get demonetized. Like every week I would have a video that they wouldn't like. Now it's like I don't have any issues with them, so I don't know what it is. I guess YouTube likes me for some reason, but it's like a 180. They've done a 180 with me, so that's a good thing, I guess. Sheep of Jesus Christ says, we love you even with all the red alerts. Thank you, Sheep of Jesus Christ. I appreciate it. I have another channel, but I don't do backup channels. It's pointless because YouTube can actually shut you down if you have a so-called backup channel. People who have backup channels don't know that. They don't spend the time to read the rules on YouTube. But they have a rule that if you create another channel to try to get around, being banned, then they can delete you permanently. So that's how a lot of people get deleted, is they create a so-called backup channel so they can get around, being banned on another channel, and then they get deleted or whatever. So I have a website. So if anything happens, I always post on my website my whereabouts. So if you don't hear from me for whatever reason, I'll always put like an update, a channel update on my website on the home page, NYPrepper.com. If anything were to happen for whatever reason, I would always update there. They almost got rid of me like off-grid desert farming. Yeah, I think in my case, I think for him, they were more like targeting him. I don't think in my case they were really targeting me. I think it was just like mistakes that I made because YouTube has, most of the people don't know, but everything is automated with YouTube. So they have like scanners, there's no way that people are going to be able to watch all these videos and determine, oh, this guy broke this rule, he needs a strike, or this guy did this, we have to demonetize. They have automated scanners that scan your videos or your streams when you go live. And, when you're dealing with computers are they make mistakes, or they don't know what your intention is when you say something. They just know that you said it and it's against their guideline, and then, boom, you get a strike, So I think in my case, it was more just bad luck. I think maybe they were targeting me a little bit, but I feel like with off-grid, they were definitely going after him. I have no doubt. Would I upload on a different site? I don't see that happening, but yeah, I would figure something out. I have a Patreon. I have another YouTube channel. So yeah, I would post there. But I have a Rumble channel also, so I could post on Rumble. I have a second YouTube channel. It's just NYPrepper1. Or I'm sorry, NYPrepper2. I'm sorry, NYPrepper2 is my second channel. I never use it though. I only used it like once. NYPrepper2. And then I have a Rumble, so I could post to Rumble as well. Soil radio operator. I've warned before, if Ukraine feels abandoned and betrayed by the West, they'll turn all those new weapon systems the other direction and join Russia. Russia considers Ukraine kindred people at the core. That's interesting. I never thought of that, joining Russia. I guess that's possible. Tony says, I added your website to my home screen on my phone. Okay, there's a lot of good information on my home screen, by the way. On my website. On my website, I have a lot of different survival information, survival references, nuclear war, all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to be posting more survival stuff on my website, like free information on some survival things, like how to build a bug out bag and things like that. So check my website for that. If you go to like references, I was thinking also of potentially just posting on my website also. If that were to happen, I could post my content on my website. Rumble is good. The problem with Rumble is that it's not good for the creators, in the sense that nobody really uses Rumble. That it's not that widespread. I mean, most people don't have Rumble on their phone, or they don't watch Rumble. It's a very select amount of people, so if you just only post on Rumble, you're limiting your reach basically. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. YouTube is the biggest video and live platform. So, I wish I could just only do Rumble, but it's just Rumble's just too small, Will I bug out by myself, or do I have a group? I do know some people. I don't have any formal plans with other people though. Simply because of my geographic location, I'm far away from a lot of people that I trust. So it wouldn't really be realistic for me to bug out with them, if they're in other states, hundreds of miles away. So, Ross Snyderman says 2,000 people still watching. Yeah, still a lot of people on. It's Friday night. Yeah, Texas has declared a state of emergency over the solar eclipse on the 8th. That's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Trying to see if there's any news coming out of Ukraine. Anything with the... let me check on the Pennsylvania thing. People were asking about that. The toxic situation there. Let's check up on that. Some kind of hazmat situation. 52 people hospitalized. Lehigh County. That's around Allentown area. Some kind of factory or something. I'm trying to find out more information on it. So far I haven't heard anything as to the cause. Looks like it was at a Sharp factory. Let me see. Interesting. Sharp Packaging Solutions at 7451 Keebler Way in Upper Makungi. Around noon on Friday, report of a chemical odor. Let me see if I can look that up on the map. We'll learn a little more. Sharp Packaging Solutions. Let's see, what are they all about? It's a pharmaceutical company in Allentown. Wow. I think I've passed by their... Yeah, I've driven by their building before. Oh, man, I remember I used to drive this way a lot. When I lived in New York and I'd go to Cabela's in Pennsylvania, I would go this way. Wow. This happened right on 78. 78 is a major highway in eastern PA. Wow. So this happened right at the Sharp Pharmaceuticals. Huh. It's interesting. I mean, it could have been anything that caused it. It's in Allentown. It's right in Allentown. Interesting. Maybe we can do some street view action. Let me see here. We'll do some Google Street View. There we go. So this is right in Allentown, PA, right on 78, right on the highway. So this is the parking lot for the employees. Wow, yeah, I remember driving by seeing that Sharp logo. It's quite a big facility here. So there's some kind of pharmaceutical company, so you know, it's I wonder what they do. I have to research more. Mobile mammography, some kind of healthcare company. Interesting. Let me see if I can get more info here about them. Sharp Packaging Solutions. Sharp is a leader in pharmaceutical packaging, clinical trial supply services, and small-scale sterile manufacturing. Interesting. So they're basically they package pharmaceuticals. That's what they do. They just package them. You know, that's what they specialize in, is just packaging. They package all the different drugs. That's what they do. So maybe there was some kind of you know, chemical that they were using, you know, in the packaging process, and you know, it got messed up. I don't know. Let's see here. So they have Allentown appears to be their headquarters. Or I'm sorry, this might have been the other no, because they have one facility in Makungi, so maybe it's the Makungi one. I don't know which facility it was. They have an office in Massachusetts. They have 4 offices in PA. They have one in the UK, the Netherlands, and Belgium. So they're a big company. They got big buildings all over the world. Interesting. Yeah, this is the one. Building 1 is the one that they say had the incident. 166,000 square foot facility, including GMP production space, warehouse, and offices, enclosed primary packaging suites, including zoned terminal rooftop unit, air handlers, HEPA filtration and pressure, temperature and low humidity monitoring, secondary packaging and assembly areas. So yeah, that would make sense. It's basically a factory here. They have cold storage from 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So it could have been a refrigerant maybe of some kind that, you know, that leaked out, you know, like Freon or something, you know. I don't think it's anything nefarious, to be honest, but, you know, it looks like just a factory issue. Some chemical gas leaked out and people got sick. You know, that can happen. They work with all kinds of chemicals at these places. I mean, they use all different kinds of chemicals, you know, so what's going on, Earth Angel Anna? I hope you're doing well. Earth Angel Anna says ads make it possible for you to get these videos for free, small price to pay. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, nothing's for free, obviously. You know, unfortunately, you know. Have I ever met Zohan? If you ever seen Meet the Zohan. No, I've never seen Meet the Zohan. I don't know what that is. Meet the Zohan? No. Let's Go Liberty says, thanks for letting me know. I enjoy the content. I know it's out of NYP control. Thank you, Let's Go Liberty. What's going on, JA711? Thanks for all your info. Question if hacking caused the pharma incident. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, maybe that because we are talking about industrial systems, so it's possible if the hackers accessed somehow the the factory and they messed around with some stuff and they were able to do something, cause some issues there. So yeah, I think that's a very real possibility. Yeah, could have been a cyber attack essentially, that they launched a cyber attack. So yeah, I think it's just something factory related. It could have been an accident. It could have been a cyber attack. Either one, that sounds very probable. Either one. But this is the facility right here. It's always fun to look at Street View, isn't it? I always have a good time. It's like free traveling. You can like see the whole world with Google Street View. You don't even need to travel. You can sit in your living room on the couch, with your favorite snacks and travel the world with Google Street View. But yeah, that's the building right there. So we're just watching to see if anything happens tonight with Ukraine, if they're going to launch any kind of massive strikes on Ukraine tonight. That's what we're keeping an eye on. Salt Shanker says, I explore Google Earth all the time. Yeah, it's really fun. What's going on, old Fort Bragg? How's it going? Yeah, no problem. We'll just have to wait and see. Just like with the balloons, we'll have to wait and see with the balloons what happens with that balloon. Good night, Light Source. Thanks for showing up. And I'll talk to you later. I sent you a message on, I think it was Patreon. I think I sent you a message, or Twitter. I can't remember. If you get a chance to read it, or when you get a chance, read it and, let me know what you think. Let's just check some flights here real quick. Let's see what's going on. Wow, we got a bunch of activity over South Korea. This is crazy. What's going on here? Got a bunch of planes here. U.S. Navy Clipper. Interesting. It's a VIP plane. More U.S. Army recon planes. We got those C-2 Greyhounds going to resupply one of the aircraft carriers near Taiwan here. So yeah, we're officially in the 24th of February here in the Eastern U.S. time zone, the 2-year anniversary of the Ukraine war. It's pretty crazy to think that it's been 2 years already. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything unusual yet in the airspace where this balloon could be. We'll have to wait and see if anything changes, though. But yeah, it's possible Russia is going to do something now because of that, because of the fact that Ukraine destroyed that A-50 AWACS plane that might motivate Russia to do something crazy. Real estate photography says what they've been doing to Christians in Armenia is unbelievable. What have they been doing in Armenia against Christians? I haven't heard anything about it. Let me know. Do I remember the cruise ship that China hit with the EMP? I seem to remember that. Yes, I seem to remember something about that. Yes, I do remember that. Ross Snyderman is laughing. Vanessa Dubois is saying her cell phone is down. Wow. Her cell phone is down. What service do you have? What provider? Yeah, the 80s was awesome. Old Fort Bragg says muddy in Ukraine, which heavy vehicles get stuck. That's true. Tomorrow's a full moon. Putin might go off the rails. Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm watching to see if Putin's not going to do anything insane tomorrow. Russia used a ground-to-air missile to shoot it down. Vanessa says I can only make Wi-Fi calls. Yeah, I'm hearing Ukraine is confirming that Ukraine shot down the AWACS, not Russia. Ukraine shot it down with a S-200 that Ukraine used. That's what I'm hearing. I saw the footage. I know. I'm just telling you what Ukrainian sources are saying. Ukraine's defense intelligence is saying that the defense forces of Ukraine have shot down a Russian A-50 long-range radar detection aircraft with a Soviet S-200. Sources told Ukrainska Pravda in Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. Okay, so the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine told Ukrainska Pravda that Ukraine shot it down with a S-200. So that's what I'm hearing, but who knows? I mean, maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Maybe they're making that up. Yeah, Ukraine's defense intelligence has released the last flight path of the Russian A-50. Yeah, so Ukraine's defense intelligence themselves, okay, if you go onto their Telegram page, Ukraine's defense intelligence actually released a picture. I showed it earlier. So, no, it wasn't Russia. Russia didn't shoot it down. They didn't shoot down their own plane. Ukrainians shot it down because Ukrainians are very skilled operators. Yeah, they used the S-200 to take down a $500 million plane. It's pretty crazy. Real estate photography says they have been murdering Christians by the thousands. Check out Chuck Holton. He's a man of God and reports from out there. Very interesting. The news is not covering it. That's interesting. I have to look into it. Is Armenia like mostly Muslim? Barry, I don't care what the video says. I don't care what the video is. I'm telling you what Ukraine's defense intelligence is confirming that they shot it down. I don't care what the video shows. The video, we don't know anything about that video. It could be a different angle. You don't know. I mean, so Ukraine's defense intelligence is confirming that they are responsible for the A-50 AWACS getting taken down. So cheers to Ukraine. Kat Swee says, update on Sweden. 2 persons are still in care at hospital. Interesting. Okay, thanks for the update. Maybe I will check up on that. I don't know, Kat Swee, if you have any sources where I can read more about it. That would be good. Apparently the AWACS went down a couple hours ago. So that's what I'm hearing. I saw Zelensky dance. He's pretty good. Yeah, Zelensky, I have to say, he was a good comedian. I've seen a few of his skits. He was good at that, for sure. He was definitely a good comedian. How he's doing as president, I know a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people just straight up hate him. So I'm not going to comment on it, but Ukraine is going to meet Poles at the Polish border. Are you sure about cheering them on? I don't know if I'm cheering them on, but I that's kind of a stupid comment, I think. I think your comment is stupid. So please don't post stupid comments or you're going to get blocked. Actors get paid with him as president. There's been a lot of misappropriation of funds being investigated by Congress. Yeah, I mean, regardless of who the president is, it has nothing to do with whether it's Zelensky or some other president. It doesn't matter. Vladimir Putin, in his mind, and a lot of people that sympathize with him, believe that Ukraine should not even exist at all. They believe that Ukraine should basically be wiped off the map. I mean, Putin basically said himself with the interview with Tucker Carlson that Ukraine is a made-up state and, that Ukraine doesn't deserve to be a country, essentially, that, they were born out of other countries, which is just crazy. I mean, that's... and he, so regardless of who the president is, I don't care. It doesn't justify bombing cities and civilians, apartment buildings. It doesn't justify conscripting all these people to invade your neighbor that's like 5% the size of you, so, Putin is... Yeah, he's a Stalinist. Yeah, he's bringing Russia back to the Stalin days. I mean, he took out Navalny. Navalny had a daughter. He had a wife. I mean, it's a family man that he killed, He's going to go to hell for all of this, I'm telling you. I know a lot of people don't want me to say that, but it's true. Putin is going to hell. He may think that he can get away with it now. He's got his nuclear weapons. He's flying around in his nuclear bomber. But he's going to die. Nobody lives forever. And when he dies, he's going to have to answer for all this stuff that he's doing right now against Ukraine, against all other people that he's done stuff against. And he's going to go to hell. I personally believe he's going to hell. I could be wrong, though. I mean, nobody knows. But that's just my personal opinion. Justin Wenzel, thank you for gifting 20 more memberships. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great Friday. God bless. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to do. Titan Intel says Putin has no soul. I think Putin is just full of I don't know if it's a product of his upbringing. I think he's a psycho. I think he's a psychopath. I mean, people that grow up with, you know, under situations that he grew up in are, you know, he was kind of neglected as a child, which ends up, you know, kids that are neglected when they're very young turn into serial killers, psychopaths, you know, people like that. And from what I read about his childhood, you know, his parents weren't really around. You know, he didn't grow up in a typical nuclear family, you know, where there was always food on the table and stuff like that. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with his mentality as an adult. You know, he's very cutthroat because he had to be cutthroat as a kid. You know, because his parents didn't show him the love that they were supposed to. And so that turned him into a monster, essentially. You know, he's basically a monster. Justin Wenzel, thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. You're the man, Greg. I like the live streams on Friday night when I can hang out, but really love the 30-minute updates during the week when I'm working. Keep fighting the good fight, brother. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's my plan is I'll probably do more streams on the weekends later in the week, and then I'll keep doing the 20 to 30-minute updates during the week. Yeah, I don't have any plans to change anything. I'm doing a lot of streams this week because there's been so much going on. So, can I check the flight tracker around 4 p.m. Pacific time over Oregon? 2 military helicopters flew over my house, super low, just south of Portland. They were equipped with refuel rods. Sounds like some Chinooks. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like Chinooks. Meet the Zohan was a funny movie from the past. Adam Sandler, he's an Israeli Krav Maga master. Oh, I think I've heard of it. Yeah, Adam Sandler, what a classic. He's good, Adam Sandler, yeah. Timothy says, you're correct, Greg, and even worse is the way the United Nations acts with Putin and Russia. They are just as corrupt as Biden. Yeah, the UN is a joke. The UN is useless, you know. It's a useless organization. They've never really done anything. Ross Snyderman says sometimes 40 minutes. Yeah, you know, I had some people complain about the 40-minute updates. I try not to do the 40-minute updates anymore. I'm going to try to break it up. Does Putin have any kids? Yeah, he has 2 daughters. He has 2 daughters that are, I think they're like in their 30s now. Tim Cruz says, Greg, have you heard about retired Air Force members being asked to consider returning to duty? Sources, as an uncle, as a retired senior master sergeant. Oh, interesting. Wow, that's interesting. I have not heard that. Thanks for telling me, though. I'm going to check. I'm going to keep that in mind. I haven't heard anything about that, but I'll keep it in mind. Ross says, keep it up, my friend. Thank you. Abraham says, I like the long videos. I listen while working out. I'm glad that you like them. You know, I actually do the same thing. If I'm like doing something and I need to listen to something, I turn on like a long stream that I can listen to for a while. Like usually I'll listen to like Inside Russia. He does like long streams, like an hour and a half or an hour, and I just listen to that. There are EMP blankets and electronics available to protect Generac generators in the event of the need for them. Interesting. I didn't know that. The UN has been compromised. Just me. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I really think Putin flying in the nuclear bomber was a warning. Interesting. Yeah, it could have been. That's what people are saying. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if it was a warning or not, right? I'm sure it probably was. I think also he probably just wanted to do it for the fun of it. I mean, you're the president of a country, you're a dictator, and you know, I'm sure he probably, just for the fun of it, oh, I want to fly a nuclear bomber, you know. I'm sure that has something to do with it too. He probably just wanted to, you know, do it for fun and look like he's tough. Darren says I fall asleep listening to my streams. That's funny. Vanessa Dubois, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I hope you're having a great night, and I'm sorry to hear about your cell phone not working. But it's cool that you're still in here and you're still hanging out with us. Thank you for doing that. Mojo says, I don't get people saying videos are too long. If it's too long, just shut it off. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, if it's too long, just turn it off. You don't have, nobody's forcing you to watch the whole 40 minutes, you know. Beautiful Chaos says that you slept with Greg all night. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people do that. Just Me says, happy to find your channel. Love the layout. Oh, thanks for the layout. This is actually a new layout for me. This is new. I've been working on this the last few days. Thanks for the gifted memberships, though. I appreciate it. Vanessa says, you're welcome. My pleasure, and my cell phone service is back on now. Oh, okay, that's good. So do you think it was a cyber attack or maybe something else? Alienware, I don't use Alienware. I have to look into it. I don't use Alienware, though. News dictates the length of the video. Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is I wish I could break up videos into, you know, make them shorter, but then if there's so much news, there's only so much I can break up unless I just not include certain news and just skip it altogether for the sake of making a TikTok video. I guess that's what people like these days. You know, they like the short videos. Everything is crammed into 1 minute or less, which is just not possible to do sometime. Most of the time, it's not possible. David S. says, hi, NYPrepper from Nevada. Enjoy watching your streams. Hope you're having a great night. Thank you, David S. I appreciate it. Alienware is a good computer for multitasking. Oh, do a vote on cyber or solar. Yeah, I'm sure most people would probably pick cyber. But that's a good poll. I'll definitely... My concern in the Dominican Republic is... the blue water, you know, we're monitoring how blue the water is and how green the palm trees are. You know, that's what we're monitoring. We're checking to see if there's any blast waves from people doing cannonballs in the pool. Right, yeah, we're monitoring the waves. We're checking to see if there's a tsunami. The AT&T said it was an update glitch. Yeah, that's what they said, but I don't believe that. That's a lie. Definitely not an update glitch, because it wasn't just AT&T. It was also Verizon and T-Mobile. It was multiple companies. It wasn't just AT&T, so I don't believe that. That's just it's just an excuse, essentially. Tim Cruz says, Greg, for more detail, the retired service members received letters. Oh, interesting. 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 Titan says grade CBS. Bob says, Greg, once again, the armory in my community has gone to working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts. They build Moabs and also running 2 shifts. Uncle just got told today. What state is that in? Which state is that armory located in? Timothy Bibb says, to whoever thinks that Reagan tried to take away our Second Amendment, show me one speech where he actually said that. Please, you can't, because he didn't do anything like that. Yeah, there's been people trying to bash Reagan lately, saying that Reagan was anti-Second Amendment. I don't understand that. Mojo says, I didn't have any problems with Verizon. If it's multiple companies, wouldn't it make it solar? Well, no, it's not solar, because they are, first of all, if it was solar, well, look, this solar flare that we're getting, there's no effects from it. There wasn't any coronal mass ejection. Okay, so that's just pure BS. So that's why they changed the story around. First they said it was caused by the solar flares. Then they realized, oh shit, there's no coronal mass ejection coming out of these flares. We better change the story. So then they changed their story and said, oh, we were updating our network, and everything went down because we were updating our network. You know, that's a bunch of BS. You know how many times companies update their network? They update their network every single day. Okay, you would have to be like, things like that. That's like saying, you have to understand that in like the IT, they plan for all these things. Okay, if they're upgrading a network, things like that don't just happen. It's like if you're a construction worker and you're building a house, and you forget to put a load bearing, beam somewhere and the house collapses. I mean, it's like something that like a total novice would make a mistake like that. That would never, I've never heard of something like that happening. It's very rare these days. The AT&T update is a lie. Why would the FBI and the CIA be there investigating? They definitely got cyber attacked by a foreign government. I would bet within the next month or two we will get the truth. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yes, exactly. Why is the FBI doing an investigation into it? And also, like I said, the solar flares did not give off any coronal mass ejection. So because they didn't give off a coronal mass ejection, there was no electromagnetic effects, So NOAA, yes, the NOAA is even disagreeing with AT&T. KFT says, yes, this is true. I'm in IT. Yep. Networks are updated at night. Exactly, yeah. And if they're doing some kind of big deployment, like they're upgrading a bunch of systems, installing new servers or something, they plan for that months and months and months in advance. It's not like they just buy a server and start plugging it in and then, turn this network on and see what happens. That doesn't work that way. Okay, they do it very carefully. They plan everything out. They isolate that. They test. They have a test environment. Okay, in IT, you have your test environment, and then you have your production environment, and they test everything in a separate environment. So if something goes wrong, then it's isolated from the network, And then they set everything up in the test environment, and if the test environment, everything goes good, then they transition it over to production. Okay, so that's just a BS excuse. Hey, I'm gonna just take a step away for a minute. I'll be right back in about a couple minutes here, less than 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back, guys. Peggy says I just renewed my membership to NYPrepper, only 99 cents a month. Yeah, and when you're a channel member, you're not affected by the time limit here. Uh, you know how if the chat time limit, if you're a member, you can chat as much as you want. So that's one of the benefits of being a member, is that the time limit is you're not gonna have to deal with that. Um, Someone's talking about Kiwi SDR. Mr. Quattro says, hi Greg from UK nuke shelters. Yeah, the UK has a lot of nuke shelters. They have some interesting ones. Would be cool to explore some of them together here on the computer. So far, no attacks on Ukraine. It looks pretty quiet right now. Spain is preparing military support for Ukraine. Yeah, it's pretty quiet right now. We're not hearing any information of any strikes or anything on Ukraine. It could all pop off tomorrow potentially. But I can't believe it's been 2 years since the Ukraine war started. 2 years. It's just insane. So I don't know if I'm gonna stay up all night. I pulled an all-nighter last night. I'm a little bit drained from it last night. I don't know if I'm gonna pull another all-nighter here. I might. I don't know if I'll keep it up or shut it down, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. But tomorrow there could be something going on for sure. So I want to be fresh for tomorrow. Antonio says you got kicked out for the 9th time. Wow. Nelly Girl says time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I can't believe I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Antonio says it's frozen on the ad. I can't see any videos, only the comments. Britt Jewel says get some sleep. Yeah, I definitely need some sleep. Thanks for your concern. I mean, I could leave the stream up overnight, but what I might do is I might shut this one down and then restart a new stream, because I'm up to the 4-hour time limit for editing. So if I want to edit this down so people can rewatch the beginning and get the breaking news from the beginning, I'm at that 4-hour mark. I can't edit videos that are longer, or I can't edit streams that are longer than 4 hours. So I may have to shut this one down soon. I don't know. But even if I restart it, I don't know if I'll stay up all night again. I'll see. Punta Cana. Yeah, Punta Cana, I have that just for, just something different to look at, something more pleasant, something, just something pleasant, like a nice warm beach and pool. Phil says go get some sleep. Thank you, Phil, for the concern. Praying and prepping says better do it now so I can like that one before bed. Peggy says good plan. Timothy says either one is cool. Carla says a lot going on. Yeah, there's so much going on. It's crazy. Good night, Timothy. Thanks for tuning in. Nelly Girl says thanks for the updates. Do a brief recap of all that's happening. Simple Cooking says get some rest. A lot of running around wore me out. I put in the hard work. I might actually turn the stream on tomorrow during the day and just leave it on during the day. What do you guys think about that? Like restart it in during the day and just keep it up, and that can pop in throughout the day or something. I don't know. I'll see. I'll still do a video update for sure. I'll still do a video update. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid if I log off and then there's a massive missile strike and then I'll have to go live again. So I don't know what to do. I'm trying to decide. Sorry about that, Antonio. Come on in the morning or lunchtime. Sounds good. Trying to see if there's any other news here. So, good night, Peggy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support. Mojo says it's up to you. If you leave it up, I'll stick around. Thank you, Mojos. Yeah, let me think about what to do here. I mean, I suppose I could just leave it on now and just leave it on. People can just watch from the beginning, I suppose. See what's going on. I don't know. Just checking to see if there's any breaking news. Yeah, the Ukrainian government was waiting for the Polish government to discuss the border issue, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good in Ukraine between Poland and Ukraine. It's not looking good. Yeah, I think I might just shut it down, guys. I think I'm gonna take a break tonight. I think I'm just gonna shut it down, and I'll be back tomorrow with I don't know if I will do like a long leave the stream up kind of thing, or if I will I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I have to decide. I'm thinking about what to do here. Christy Lee says, go get some rest. Sounds good, Christy Lee. Thank you. Thank you, Christy Lee. Good night, Rodney. Yeah, I think I'm going to go get some rest, and I think we should all maybe get some rest. But if anything breaks, I will obviously go live. But tomorrow I'll definitely be going live for sure. Throughout the day I'll be doing updates and stuff. John Hoover says Medvedev plans to enter Kyiv and Odessa. Is Medvedev the president now? Yeah, I heard what Medvedev said. I heard what Medvedev said. So yeah, I think Russia's next target is going to be it's going to be probably Odessa. That makes sense. Good night, Britt Jewel. Good night, Steve. Good night, Bailey. Rodney Middleton. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna shut it down. I did an all-nighter last night. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to burn myself out. So, Soil Radio Operator, thank you for understanding. Chat's been a hot mess all night. Davis08, good night. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off now, and I'll be back tomorrow with more updates. So stay tuned. Make sure you check my channel. I'll be definitely doing an update when I get up in the morning. Joe says currently starting the stream from the beginning. What have I missed? I guess you didn't really miss a whole lot. I'm just joking. Yeah, the first hour is where all the breaking news is, so you definitely want to keep an eye on the first hour. Todd Turner says, good night, Greg. Shut it down and get some sleep. Kimmy Thebo says, good night from Maine. Good night, Kimmy. Good night, Mojos. Mr. Quattro, see you later. Allison Trice. It's 6 a.m. in the UK. I will be back with you, though. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate it. Mr. Dix Production says, Greg, get your rest. You are going to need it tomorrow. That's a good point, yeah. Good night, Titan Intel. So have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bradley Moore, thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for all your help. Appreciate all your help. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. And if anything breaks, I'll obviously come back on if there's any massive attack or anything. So thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it. It was fun hanging out. And take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.